Around this time of year would normally be award season for the films of the previous year. I would be talking about the Oscars and figuring out my predictions for each category, but seeing as they've been delayed, I've decided to talk about some of my favorite actors and what roles made me see them in that way. Sean Bean. For a long time, I've considered Sean Bean to be my favorite actor. He's been in so many franchises I enjoy and always gives a great performance. He's one of those actors who always seems to be working, as he has a lot of credits. Not all of them are that good, but even if the film isn't the best, he seems to do very well in the role. His trademarks are that he tends to die often, his Yorkshire accent, and often being in medieval or fantasy settings. The first film I ever seen him in is the one I consider both his best and what made him a favorite of mine, Goldeneye. It's my favorite James Bond film, and he's great from his first appearance on screen to the end. What makes it such a great performance might be that he dies multiple times. Some other notable performances would include Boromir in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Eddard Stark in Game of Thrones, Odysseus in Troy, and Sharp in the Sharp series. He also does quite a bit of voice acting, including a role in The Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion and Kingsglaive Final Fantasy XV. Ewan McGregor. This Scottish actor has done a lot, from big budget blockbusters to smaller indie projects, and again to voice acting. He is probably best known for his cheeky or sarcastic line delivery, and his ability to do both comedy and drama. I first seen him in the Star Wars prequel trilogy as young Obi-Wan Kenobi, which I think most people tend to agree is the best performance from those films. He's also a talented singer, having sang in my favorite musical, Moulin Rouge, as well as in Beauty and the Beast. My favorite performance of his comes in my all-time favorite film, Big Fish, where he hides his Scottish accent while doing a very convincing Southern American accent. Some other notable roles include his breakout performance in Trainspotting, as well as its sequel T2 Trainspotting, Black Hawk Down, The Island, and the hilarious The Men Who Stare at Goats. Oscar Isaac, a more recent actor who has been hitting everything out of the park in the last decade. He has incredible range, portraying comedic heroes, depressed musicians, evil geniuses, and villains. He's another actor I first seen in a Star Wars film as Poe Dameron in The Force Awakens. His role was pretty small in that film, but he's the first character we were introduced to, and he makes quite the impact. Between his Star Wars roles, I grew a deeper appreciation of him by watching his breakout performance from Inside Llewyn Davis, where he showcased his ability to sing. He also worked with director Alex Garland on each of his first two films, Ex Machina and Annihilation, where he again gave some spectacular performances, even being quite scary at times. He has some upcoming projects I'm pretty excited for, most of which is Denis Villeneuve's remake of Dune. Paul Rudd. One of the most charming actors around is Paul Rudd. He's known for his deadpan delivery, being a little awkward, and for that one dance move he does in a lot of his movies. He didn't really have a breakout performance, but rather just kept working and gaining more notoriety over time, until eventually he was in Marvel movies. I probably first seen him in either Friends or Clueless, but I didn't really recognize him as someone notable until he was in Anchorman, which is one of his funniest roles. Outside of comedy, he's also done a couple of more serious roles, such as Romeo and Juliet and Mute. He is, however, best known as a comedian, with some of my favorite comedies of his being Role Models, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Wanderlust, Wet Hot American Summer, and my absolute favorite role of his in I Love You Man. Of course, he is most recognized as Scott Lang in Ant-Man and the other Marvel films. Ryan Gosling. I had to have some Canadian representation on here, and who better to go with than Ryan Gosling? I will admit I kind of slept on him for a long time, not taking him that seriously as an actor. I might have seen him when he was young and on Are You Afraid of the Dark or Goosebumps, but wouldn't have recognized him. So the next role I would have seen him in was The Notebook, but I wasn't that into it, being an 11-year-old boy at the time. I didn't really watch anything of his until La La Land, which completely sold me on him and made me want to go back and watch some other movies of his. A few I went back to are 3 underrated films, a more serious one in Drive, and 2 comedies in Crazy Stupid Love and The Nice Guys. My favorite film of his, however, would have to be Blade Runner 2049, where he has to play a mostly cold replicant that slowly over the course of the film gains more emotion. So there's 5 actors I really like. Of course, there is a lot more I enjoy, and I could spend hours talking about different performances I enjoy, but I needed to limit it somewhere. I will likely do another one of these based on actresses and their performances in the future. Thanks for watching.